Arthaya pratibodhitam bhagavata narayanena swayam vyasena gratitam purana munina madhye mahabharatam advaitamritavarshiniim bhagavatim ashtadashadhyayinim Amba tvamanusandadhami Bhagavad Gita bhavadveshinim Namostute vyasa vishala buddhe pullara vindayatapatra netra Yena tvaya bharata taila purna prajvalito jnanamaya pradipaha Prapanna parijataya tutra vetraikapanaye Jnana mudraya krishnaya gitamrita duhe namaha Sarvopanishadu gavo dugdha gopalanandanaha Partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamritam mahat Vasudeva sutam devam kamsachanuramardanam Devaki paramanandam Krishnam vande jagadgurum Bhishma drona tata jaya trata jala gandhara nilotpala Shalyagrahavati kripena vahani karnena velakula Ashwathama vikarna gora makara duryodhana vartini Sotirna kalupanda vairana nadikai vartaka keshavaha Parasharya vachasaroja mamalam gitartha gandhotkatam Nanakyanaka kesaram harikatha sambodhana bodhitam Loke sajjana shatpadaira haraha pepiyamana muda Bhuyad bharata pankajam kalimala pradvamsina shreyase Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim Yat kripatamaham vande paramananda madhavam Yam brahma varunendra rudra marutastum vanti devyairstavaihi Vedai sangha padakramopanishadar gayanti yam samagaha Dhyanavastita tadgatena manasa pashyanti yam yogino Yasyantam navidusura suragana devaya tasmai namaha Shri Sadguru Maharaj ki jai. Hari Om, everyone. Good to see you again. As you may have heard, I have a little cold. I'm in Norway right now. Very beautiful place. I will share with you a couple of photos after the class if you want. And I'm starting a retreat today. But first, we have our own class together. Okay, so we are starting now. Very short recap. We are in chapter 11. Okay, Vishvarupa Darshana. This is the vision of the Lord that Lord Krishna is showing to Arjuna. Arjuna is very happy in the beginning, but slowly it starts to be very stressful to him. What he sees is causing him a lot of fear. Even though Arjuna is a great hero, he is not able to take what Lord Krishna is showing him. And we don't really understand what Arjuna is seeing because, excuse me, because Krishna says it is beyond the understanding of a human being. We can only imagine what Arjuna is seeing. And then we have seen that Arjuna is kind of freaking out, realizing that his best friend, Krishna, is none other than God, and he is asking forgiveness. This we have seen last year. Hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Saketi. He says, oh, I used to call you in all kinds of nice names and all this. Please forgive me for the intimacy, for the familiarity. And then Arjuna is telling Krishna, Krishna, now it's a bit too much for me. In the beginning of the vision, you have shown me something very sweet, very nice. I would like to see that again. Okay, and we have seen it in verse 45 in the last class. I am delighted, having seen what has never been seen before, and yet my mind is distressed with fear. Show me that previous form only, O God. Have mercy of God of gods, who are Lord of the universe. Arjuna at the same time is delighted and also terrified. You know, this is something interesting. I find that usually we associate our mind at every moment with one particular emotion. But the truth is that we can hold different emotions at the same time. Is it not? Very often we are experiencing even contradicting emotions displaying in the mind in the same time. There is a description in the Mahabharata when the Pandavas, they come back from 1 year after Duryodhana tried to burn them down in the wax palace. Those who remember that story, they disappeared for 1 year. Everybody thought they died. And then when there was the Swayamvara of Draupadi, when there was the choosing of Draupadi of her husband, the Pandavas showed up again and Arjuna won the contest. I don't know if you remember this story, but the Pandavas just came back. And Vidura was the advisor of Dhritarashtra, the king, the blind king. And he came and told him, you know, your nephews, the Pandavas, they didn't die last year. They came back and now they are found and they are coming back to the kingdom. And it is said at that place that Dhritarashtra was feeling like a person standing in the river up with water up to the waist in a very hot day. So imagine that you are standing in the Ganga River, which is a snow melting water, very cold water, maybe 4 degrees, and you're standing with water up to the waist, but above, from the waist and above, it is a very, very hot day. So at the same time, you feel very cold on the bottom part of your body and very hot in the upper part of your body. And it is said that the mind of Dhritarashtra was like this. He was very happy because they were his nephews and he liked them and he thought they are good and he had some affection to them. And at the same time, he was anxious because he knows that they were the enemies of his sons, Duryodhana and his sons. So it is said that at the same time, he had this dual feeling. And here also, Arjuna says, I am delighted by what I see, but I'm also terrified. I'm also feeling this fear. And one thing that we can learn from it, that we can acknowledge our emotions, even if they are mixed, even if there may be different types of emotion displaying at the same time in the mind. And that is the very nature of the mind. You know, it is still not who we are, and we are different from our emotions and all this Vedanta stuff that we talk all the time, but still we have to be able to acknowledge it. Okay, that's a small point that I wanted to mention. So this all we have seen last week, and now we see the last verse with Arjuna's speech. Before Krishna is speaking, he will speak again later on, but now is the last verse of Arjuna. This is verse number 46. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahasta michchami tvam drashtumaham tathaiva tenaiva rupena chaturbhujena sahasrabaho bhava vishvamurte. Kiritinam gadinam chakrahastam. Hasta, what is hasta in Sanskrit? All the yogis know pada hasta asana. Hasta means hand. Okay, hand. Holding in the hand Kiriti, Gadi, and Chakra. Holding in the hand Kiriti, actually the Kiriti is not in the hand, is on the head. This is a crown, okay, wearing a crown, and then holding in the hand Hasta, Gadinam Chakra. Gada means club. You know, in one of the main weapons in those days was a club. A club is a stick with usually from wood, but with a metal head, a round metal head with spikes that very strong warriors used to carry it and hit the enemy, hit the enemy with this club, with this stick. You know, there is actually one form of yoga. It's not exactly yoga, but it is particularly exercise, which is still existing in India. I have seen it a few times, that people, they have this club and they do their morning practice with this club because they use the weight of it to stretch, and they do all kind of, it's very interesting to watch. It's kind of a yoga practice with this club thing. So anyway, he says, Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrahastam. So wearing the crown, having in the hand this club, and also chakra. What is chakra? That also we know from the yoga asanas. Chakra means it is the discus. Chakra means a wheel, but it means, in this case, it means the discus. The most famous weapon of Lord Vishnu is the discus. It is sitting on his head, on his finger, and it is revolving, and he just sends it, and it is chopping heads very nicely. Yeah, so this is a famous weapon of Lord Vishnu. So he says, Kiritinam, Gadinam, Chakrahastam, Ichchami. Ichchami, I want, I desire. Tvam, you, I desire that you, drashtum, to see. I desire to see you. I desire to see you. Aham tathaiva. I desire to see you in this form. What form? The form which is wearing a crown, holding a club and a chakra. Okay? What form is it? What form is it? This is the form of Lord Vishnu. We know that Lord Krishna is an avatar of Lord Vishnu, right? In chapter 4, we discussed the topic of avatar. Today, everybody is familiar with this word in Sanskrit, avatar. There is a movie also, Avatar, no connection whatsoever. The word avatar, avatarati, iti avatara, which means that which descends. That which descends is an avatar. The root tar means to cross over, and ava means downwards. So avatar means to descend, somebody who descends. What is the idea? The idea is that Ishvara, the Lord of the universe, is usually in an unmanifested form. But then sometimes during creation, it is necessary to restore order. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, Krishna says, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirvavati bharata. Whenever there is a decline of righteousness and rising of adharma, unrighteousness, tadatmanam srijami aham, then I manifest myself. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashanaya dushkritam, in order to destroy the wicked and to help the good people. Tam bhavami yuge yuge, I manifest in every yuga. Okay, you know about yugas, the different yugas. We talked about it, we will talk about it more. But he says, I manifest in every yuga. This is Lord Vishnu. He has different manifestation, and there is, this is called Avatara. The Lord sometimes, for the sake of the protection of Dharma, is manifesting on earth in order to restore Dharma. Okay, this is the description. This is the story. Again, we don't have to relate to it as history, It is more a concept, the idea that there is something that protects, there is something that governs this creation. Okay, and this is Ishvara, and sometimes that Ishvara manifests. And there is just like the Mahabharata, there is another very famous book. It is called the Srimad Bhagavad Purana. And this is the book that tells the story of the 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu. Okay, Lord Vishnu has, according to this tradition, has 10 avatars, 10 manifestations. And like the Kurma is the tortoise that lifted the earth from the depth of the ocean. And then there is the boar, which is also doing the churning of the ocean. Like this, he has different manifestations. And then he had the avatar of Lord Rama that was in the Dwapara Yuga, in the Treta Yuga. He came as Lord Rama to show humanity how to lead the perfect life and all this. And then again, in the Dwapara Yuga, he came as Lord Krishna. The Srimad Bhagavata Purana is telling us about the 9 main avatars of Lord Vishnu, and then there is one more to come. One more avatar of Lord Vishnu to come. He's called Kalki, and we don't know. He's supposed to come when we don't want to be there at that time. It's going to be very, very painful. Yeah, but anyway, Lord Krishna is an avatar of Lord Vishnu. And therefore, during the vision, at some point, Arjuna saw Lord Krishna as Vishnu. So he described it. We saw it in, I don't remember in which verse exactly, and I don't want to spend time looking for it, but he was describing in his description of what he sees, I see you with the club, with the mice and all this. He saw Lord Vishnu, he saw Krishna in the form of Lord Vishnu. And now he says, Ichami tvam drashtum aham tata eva. I want to see you again in this form. Please show me again this form, which is Lord Vishnu, with the club, with the crown, and with the discus. Then he says, Tena eva rupena chatur bhujena. Tena eva rupena. Show me that form only which chatur bhujena, which has 4 hands. Okay, how many hands Lord Vishnu has? He has 4 hands. Okay, my teacher, Swami Chaitanyananda, used to say that, we always make God very great. So we have 2 hands. So God must have 4 hands because he more than us. So we always imagine God in an improved version of ourselves. Okay, we are weak, God is very strong. We are kind, God is even more, is merciful and all this. He says we are, as Swami Vivekananda said, it is not that, like it said in the Bible, that God created man in his own image. It is the other way around. Man created God in his own image. Okay, and he says, when a buffalo thinks about God, he thinks about a very big buffalo. So in the same way, when we think about God, we think about somebody, oh, I have only 2 hands. It could have been nice. When I'm home in India with my 3 dogs, I always say, I wish I had at least 1 more hand, because all the 3, they want attention at the same time. So one more hand could have been nice. Lord Vishnu, we gave him 2 hands extra. He has 4 hands. So Arjuna says, Tena eva rupena chatur bhujena. Show me again that form which is having 4 hands. Sahasra baho. And then he says, oh, you who have 1,000 hands. Sahasra, Sahasra means 1,000, and baho means hands. So, oh, one with 1,000 hands. Show me again your form with 4 hands. It's kind of a sweet play of words, right? So he says, Tena eva rupena chatur bhujena sahasra baho bhava vishva murte. You are the Vishvamurti. Murti means form, image, form, and Vishva means the universe. So you, whose form is the entire universe. I don't want to see that. I want to see you as Lord Vishnu. This is what Arjuna is saying. I will read to you the running translation. I desire to see thee as before, crowned, bearing a mice with a discus in hand, in thy former form only, having 4 arms, 4,000-armed cosmic form. This is what Arjuna is asking, and Swami Shivananda says, Arjuna says, O Lord in the cosmic form, I do not know where to turn and to whom to address myself. I am frightened. I am longing to see thee with conch, discus, mice, and the lotus. Withdraw thy cosmic form, assume that same 4-armed form as before. So this is what Arjuna is saying in Swami Shivananda's words. Now he says, spiritual aspirants are often impatient to have the highest spiritual experiences immediately they begin their sadhana. This is wrong. They will not be able to withstand the great power that will surge into them. Be patient. You know, that's very interesting. According to Swami Shivananda here, he is suggesting that Arjuna was not ready. Arjuna was not ready for this vision. If you remember, Arjuna was asking Krishna, please show it to me. Right? In the beginning of the chapter, Arjuna was asking Krishna, please show this form to me. And Krishna showed him, but Arjuna, Swami Shivananda suggests, maybe was not really ready to it. And we also, as spiritual aspirants, we expect to have progress, to see things, to feel things, to experience things. We have certain expectations. Sometimes we are a little bit impatient. We don't have the patience to take things as they come. You know, we want very quickly. I want freedom. I want to be happy. I need it now, today. And Swami Shivananda says, sometimes it is not in your favor. Sometimes what you are going to see is not in your favor. You know, when you start to shake your mind, a lot of stuff is going to come out, and it is not always so pretty. You know, sometimes we need to take it slowly. We need to take it as it comes. And this is what Swami Shivananda is taking from this verse. Okay. Now, I'm sorry. Now, Lord Krishna is answering Arjuna. Okay, Arjuna had a request. Please show me that form of Lord Vishnu. And now Lord Krishna is going to answer. Verse number 47. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya prasanena tavarjunedam rupam param darshitam atma yogat tejo mayam vishvamananta madhyam yanmet vadanyena nadrishta purvam. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Now Bhagavan, Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna answers. He says, he talks. Maya prasannena tava Arjuna idam rupam param darshitam atma yogat. Okay. Maya means by me. Prasannena, with grace, with kindness. Okay, by my own grace. You know, again, we were talking about the word prasad last week, if you remember. It is coming from the same prasannena. By my own grace, tava, to you, Arjuna, O Arjuna, idam, this, rupam, this form, param darshitam. Param means the supreme. This supreme form, darshitam, was shown. I have shown you this form. How? Atma Yoga, by my Atma Yoga. Atma Yoga. It is in Colombia, we have Atman Yoga. Some of you have been there, you know this place. Maybe it is connected to this, because this is the only place in the Gita where Krishna is using this expression. He says, Atma Yoga means by my own yoga. What is yoga? Yoga here doesn't mean union. It doesn't mean samadhi like in Patanjali. It doesn't mean, here yoga means by my own power. Okay, yoga means power, by my own power of manifestation, if you want. By my own power of manifestation, I have shown you this vision. If you remember, in the beginning of chapter 11, when Arjuna asked to see this, Krishna told him, I'm going to show you, but you cannot see it with your own eyes. I have to give you special eyes. I'm going to give you the divine eye by which you will be able to see that. So this is the Atma Yoga. Okay, Atma means my own. It doesn't mean the self. Okay, my yoga. Atma Yoga means my yoga, by my yoga, by my power. I'm going to show it to you. What? This form. I showed you this form by my own kindness, gracious kindness. What form? Tejo Mayam. Tejo Mayam means full of tejas, full of light. You know, Maya, we have Maya, long. Ma-ya, long. This is the Divine Mother. Okay, that creative power of Brahman, they call it. This is Maya. But here it is not. Here it is actually a suffix. It is just added at the end of the word. We have the word Tejas, and we add Maya in the end. And Maya as a suffix, short ma and short ya, means consisting of or full of. Where do we see it elsewhere? With the 5 koshas. In the 5 koshas, we have Annamaya kosha, Manomaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha. This Maya is this, consisting of. Annamaya kosha means the kosha or the sheet, which is consisting of Anna or food. Pranamaya kosha, that kosha which is consisting of prana. Okay, so this is in Sanskrit, it is not a word by itself. It is a suffix. It is something that you add at the end of a noun. And here the noun is tejas. Tejas means light. And therefore, tejo maya means full of light. What is full of light? This rupam, this Vishvara Rupa Darshana, this the form that I showed you is Tejomayam, is full of Tejas. And also Vishvam Anantam Adyam. It is Vishva means universe, and Anantam means without end, and Adyam without beginning. Okay. Yeah, Adya means, okay, it means beginning, but it means like it was there always. And Ananta means endless, without anta, without end. So it is that Vishwa, that universe, which is beginningless and endless. Who is it? This is the vision that you have seen. Okay. Yan means, actually it is yat, but it is changing to yan because of the ma that comes after. Yat me, that which. Yat means that which. Me, by me, or of me. What anyena na drishta purvam. What anyena, other than thyself. Anya means other. What? Than you. Other than you, na drishta purvam. Nobody have seen it before. Krishna tells Arjuna, I have shown you this form, which I have never seen to anybody else. Nobody other than me has ever seen this form. Other than you, sorry. Okay? Yan met what anyena na drishta purvam. This is the beginning of the answer of Lord Krishna. He says, "O Arjuna, this cosmic form has graciously been shown to thee by me, by my own yogic power, full of splendor, Tejomayam, primeval, Adyam, and infinite, Anantam. This cosmic form of mine has never been seen before by anyone other than thyself." Okay, Swami Shivananda explains, Lord Krishna eulogizes the cosmic form because Arjuna should be regarded to have achieved all his ends by seeing this cosmic form. Swami Shivananda says that by seeing this form, Arjuna completed his life mission, so to say. Now, this is something that I don't really understand. I have to tell you, this idea of seeing something and then what? Then what? After seeing it, you are the same person with the same mind, with the same challenges. You still have to go to the office the next day, right? So this idea of seeing the Lord or having a vision, having some vision of some divinity is something which is very strong in the Hindu tradition. But to me, it was always kind of a mystery. I don't really understand. Because many yogis, they say, that's all I want. All I want is to have your vision. But for me, it's like, okay, then what? Then what? If I have the vision, it will be wonderful, I assume. And even see Arjuna, he is so terrified that he asked Krishna, please take it away. But still in the tradition, this is something that is considered like, once you have seen that, there is nothing more to achieve. Okay, so that's what Swami Shivananda says. It is also an inducement to all spiritual aspirants to strive to attain this sublime vision. What they should do is explained by the Lord in verses 53 to 55. Okay, so Swami Shivananda says we should all aspire to see that. And it is said that Swami Shivananda had a vision of Lord Krishna in Rishikesh. And also some other, he says in some places that he had a darshana. Okay, darshana, it means seeing. And it can mean seeing, darshana can mean going and meeting somebody. Like, for example, when my teacher was alive, there were people used to come to see him. This is called darshan, coming to see, to be in his presence. But also, darshana can mean having a vision of some celestial being, having a vision of a god, having a vision of some saint that already passed away. This is also called darshana. And Swami Shivananda says, all aspirants should aspire to have this vision. Okay? Now, how can you see that? Or more correctly, how cannot you see it? What are the problems first in seeing it? Or what are the impediments, or what you should not do? This is starting in the next verse, verse number 48. Na vedayaghyai na danhair na chakriya bhir na tapo virugrahi evam rupa shakyaham nriloke drashtum twadanyena kuru pravira. Well, here there is a little reference to what we call karma kanda. We had long ago, we had a class, we talked a lot about this. I assume most of you or all of you were not there, but I don't want today again to go deep into this topic, but I will just say in general that in the time when the Bhagavad Gita was written, whenever that might have been, one of the strongest traditions that was prevalent, that was existing, was what we call the Purva Mimamsa. Or sometimes we just call them the Mimamsakas. That was a tradition, a philosophy that was very religiously connected to the Vedas. It was teaching mostly the parts of the Vedas that deal with rituals. That's why they are called Karma Kanda. The Vedas, which are the ancient texts, are divided into three main parts: Karma Kanda, Upasana Kanda, and Jnana Kanda. Okay, Kanda means a section or portion or part. The Karma Kanda means the portion of the Kanda that is dealing with karma, with action. What is a Vedic action? Mostly we talk about rituals. And in these parts, there are the mantra samhitas where we see all the mantras, and then there are the rituals that are using these mantras. They are coming in the Brahmanas. This is another part of the Vedas. Okay? These parts are called the Karma Kandas. And then the second part of the Vedas is called Upasana Kanda. Upasana Kanda means that portion that deals with meditations, Upasana. And the idea is that in the Vedas, after the mantras and after the rituals are described, there is what is called upasana. Upasana means meditations, or maybe even better, visualization. It is internalization. It is going inside with the same rituals. In the Karma Kanda, you are doing the rituals externally. In Upasana, you visualize that you are worshiping the gods internally. So you are doing these visualizations. This is called Upasana Kanda. And finally, the last portion of the Vedas is called Jnana Kanda. This is the part of the Vedas that deals with knowledge, with Jnana. This refers to the Upanishads. Okay? The Upanishads, which we are studying, are called the Jnana Kanda. And the other portions are called Karma Kanda and Upasana Kanda. Sometimes they are just called Upasana Kanda, including sometimes they are just called Karma Kanda, including the Upasana within it. Karma Kandis are people who follow the instructions given in the Karma Kanda and also in the Upasana Kanda. Okay? And we, in our tradition, what we call Vedanta, Vedanta is that philosophy which is following mainly the Jnana Kanda, that portion of the Vedas which is called Jnana Kanda. Okay? So there are two different systems, the Karma Kandis and the Jnanis. And they have different ideas about the teachings of the Vedas. Their center is different. The Karma Kandis focus on the Karma Kanda, and the Jnanis focus on the Jnana Kanda. And that creates differences, and it creates debates. It creates some misunderstanding and differences in teachings. Okay? Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, a great part of it is answering or debating with the Karma Kanda, because the Bhagavad Gita is a text of Vedanta. It is not part of the Vedas, but it is a text that is dealing with the philosophy of Vedanta. And therefore, it is criticizing Karma Kanda. And here in this verse, we see this criticism. That's why I'm telling you all this. Now, we are taught to think that Vedanta is everything, and it is so sound and so high philosophy, and karma kandis, they are just people who run after enjoyments, after heaven and hell and all these things, and it is very basic and stupid. But actually, they are not. They have very strong arguments when they argue with Vedanta. I had the great fortune. Today, there are not many Mimamsakas. It is very difficult to find teachers who can teach Mimamsa in a proper way. I was very lucky to study a little bit, and it is very interesting. It's not my thing. It's not like but it is very interesting to study it. And just for you to get perspective, 96% of the Vedas is the Mimamsaka, is the Karma Kanda and the Upasana Kanda. Only 4% of the Vedas, only a very little portion of the Vedas is the Upanishads. What we study is kind of a very small portion of the Vedas, and they are the ones who really follow the Vedas. They are the ones who go and they give a lot of emphasis, a lot of importance to every word, every expression in the Vedas, and they know how to interpret it and how to explain. It can be very interesting. And by the way, this Mimamsaka system doesn't believe in God. It's not, it doesn't have God. It says everything is working by karma. You don't need God, whether he is there or not. It is immaterial for us, you know? Anyway, in the Bhagavad Gita, we find hidden in different places this debate between Jnana Kanda and Karma Kanda, between the Karma Kandis and the Jnanis. And here, Lord Krishna is telling, Na Veda Yajna. What is Veda Yajna? Na means not by Vedic rituals. Veda Yajna means Vedic rituals, not by Vedic rituals, and not Adhyaya. What is Adhyaya? Adhyaya means study. Study of the Vedas, we see it in Patanjali also, is a very important thing, you know, the study of the scriptures, the study of the Vedas. It is the study of the self. It is called Adhyaya. He says not also by Adhyaya, not by study. And Na Danaihi. Dana, what is Dana? Dana means charity. Okay, charity. He says also by charity, it is not possible. What is not possible? It's not possible to get this Rupa Darshana, this vision. The vision that you have seen, you cannot get it by rituals. You cannot get it by study. You cannot get it by gifts, by charity. Okay? And also, Nacha Kriya Bhi. You cannot get it also by Kriyas, by doing any kind of activities. Okay? Let's see how Kriya is translated here. Yeah, by rituals. Okay. So okay. There is Veda Yagyas and Vedic rituals. Doesn't matter. The idea is you cannot get it by any of this. Na tapobhihi. What is tapobhihi? Tapas. You know the word tapas. Tapas means austerity. And what austerity? Ugraihi. Ugra. Ugra means terrible. Terrible tapas. Some people, they are doing tapas, they are doing austerity, which is incredible, which is unbelievable. They do crazy stuff. He says, by that, you cannot get the vision that you have just seen. Okay, now why do I say that this is a criticism to the Karma Kandis? Because according to the Karma Kandis, this is the way to reach perfection. By doing yagyas, by doing dana, gift, by doing adhyaya, study, by doing rituals, and by tapas, and other things like that. Okay, this is the way to get perfection, according to karma candies. And here Krishna says, no. By doing all this, you cannot achieve that. Why? Because all these things are very helpful, very supportive to your sadhana. They help you to purify the mind, but they cannot give you self-realization because they cannot remove ignorance. Ignorance is caused by activity, and therefore it cannot be removed by activity. Okay? And Krishna says, by this thing, you will not be able to achieve that perfection. Evam rupaha shakya aham nriloke drashtum twatanyena kuru pravira. So he says it is not possible. Drashtum means to see. Evam rupaha, this evam rupa means this form. Shakya means possible. It is not possible to see this form. Where? Nriloke in the worlds of men. Okay, we are living in Manushya Loka, it is called also. The same, Manushya Loka means the world of people. We are living on this plane. There are other planes of existence. We will talk about them later on. But at least here, in this relative reality, in this world, it is not possible to see this form. Okay, Evam Rupa Shakya Aham Drashtum, that I showed you. Aham means me, Drashtum, to show. Twat Anyena, other than yourself. Kuru Pravira, ho hero of the Kurus. Okay, who is hero of the Kurus? This is Arjuna. Arjuna is coming from the line of the Kurus. Also his cousins, the Kauravas, they are named after that Kuru. Kuru was a king, was an old king, and the whole race of the Pandavas and everybody is named after him. They are all descendants of the Kuru. So he calls him Kuru Pravira, you are hero of the Kurus. It is not possible, Ho Arjuna, it is not possible to see this form that I have shown to you by yagyas, by sacrifices, by study, by gifts, by rituals, by tapas. It is not possible to see this form that I have shown you. Okay, I will read to you the running translation. Neither by study of the Vedas and sacrifices, nor by gifts, nor by rituals, nor by severe austerities can I be seen in this form in the world of men by any other than thyself, O great hero of the Kurus, O Arjuna. Okay, only to you I show. You are very, very special. Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, yeah. Now Swami Shivananda says, mere cramming of the text of the Vedas without knowing the meaning will not do. So we were talking about studying of the Adhyaya. He says just this study, which is not consisting of understanding, will not help. A study of sacrifices also is necessary. One should know the meaning of these also. So he says, Swami Shivananda is taking it in the way that, well, if you do these things from the lip and outside, that will not really help you unless there is deep understanding. Dana, charity, such as a Tula Purusha or Kanya Dana, or gift of cow, rice, etc. What is Tula Purusha? Tula in Sanskrit means a weight, and Purusha means a person. And the idea is that a person is giving the weight of his body in gold as dana, as a gift. Okay, when you do rituals, part of the rituals is that you have to give gifts to Brahmanas. You know, Brahmanas were not working. They were living by donations. Okay, even today, to some extent, Vedic priests in India, they don't have fixed salary or they don't get particular money. They just get gifts. Whatever people who come and do offering, do rituals, they give them. This is at least, sorry, this is at least the idea. So one of these great giftings is called Tula Purusha. The person, usually it will be a king or somebody very rich, will give the weight of his own body in gold as a gift. Okay, and the idea is being very generous. Another one is Kanya Dana. Kanya Dana means giving your daughter in marriage. Kanya means a girl, and Dana means a gift. So when the time of your daughter to get married, you give her to her future husband. And the idea is, which is a very questionable idea in India, is that when a couple is marrying, the family of the girl is giving the girl to the husband. She's going to live in the house of the husband. She's going to serve the family of the husband. And also the father of the girl has to pay dowry and have to arrange the marriage. So in India, in the tradition, we see it today in the villages where I live. If you have a daughter, it is a great burden. Because as a girl, you have to educate her, you have to take care of her, you have to do everything for her. You train her how to help and how to do everything. And when she grows, you give her to somebody else. And not only that, you have to pay for that. And you have to give gifts. And then she goes and she works for her mother-in-law, and she's many times like a servant in the house of her husband. And this is I have a friend in Kashi. He has 5 sisters. 5 sisters in him. His last 2 sisters, they are twins. They are going to get married this September. Imagine, it's like all his life, the whole family is just working to make sure that they will get a good marriage. They can marry them out, and so you can try a little bit. I'm not saying this system to me doesn't make any sense, but this is the way it is. And imagine a father who is giving his daughter in marriage. This is Dana. This is Kanya Dana. It's like a great sacrifice. And you know, in India, it is not allowed to find out the sex of the child during pregnancy. It's not in the West, we do it ultrasound, everybody knows, right? In India, the doctor is not allowed to tell the parents the sex of the child, because otherwise, many times, if it is a girl, they abort the girl because they don't want girls. Imagine what a twisted system it is, right? So anyway, Swami Shivananda is giving this example of great gifts, and then also gift of cow, rice, etc. This is Dana. Then he says Kriya, rituals such as Agnihotra. So when it was before, in the beginning of the verse, he was talking about Yagya. Yagya means Vedic rituals. But then there are also like daily rituals that Vedic people do. For example, is Agnihotra. Agnihotra is a fire ceremony that a person has to do twice a day, in the dawn, in the morning, when the night turns to day, and in the evening, in the twilight, when the day turns to night. It is called Sandhya. Sandhya means the meeting point between day and night. This is the time that a Vedic person should do certain rituals. The main one is called Agnihotra. And during this ritual, he is doing what is called Pancha Agni. he has to do 5 different types of offerings and all this. We will talk about it another time. So Swami Shivananda is giving this example as the Kriya. Because he says by Kriyas, you cannot get this vision. Okay. Then tapas. What is tapas? Swami Shivananda is giving a very interesting tapas. He says such as Chandrayana Vrata. Vrata means a vow. Okay. Chandrayana. What is Chandra? Chandra is the moon. Ayana means the moving or the journey of the moon. What is the journey of the moon? In this case, we start with the full moon, and then for 15 days, more or less, every day the moon is waning, right? The moon is waning. We see a little less of the moon in the night, and also it is rising about 1 hour later every day, right? And then for the second paksha, the second part of the month, there is the waxing of the moon every day. The moon light increases. There is a tapas, it is called Chandrayana Vrata, in which on the first day, on the full moon day, you take a meal, a normal meal. There is a description of how much you eat in that meal. But then the next day, you also eat only that meal, but you remove one portion, one mouthful or whatever, 1/15 of the portion of the food you remove. You eat a little less. And the next day you eat a little less. And the next day you eat a little less until you get to the Pratipaksha, to the you get to the new moon day, you don't eat at all. This is a full fast. So you reduce the quantity of your food every day for 15 days until the new moon, in which you are fasting completely. And then for the next 15 days, you start with 1 morsel of food, 2 morsels of food. Like this, you increase until the next full moon, where you go back to the full meal. This is called Chandrayana Vrata. It is a 1 month. You can imagine it's not very easy. If you want, you can try. I never tried it. Swami Shivananda is giving this example. Okay, this Vrata is a great purifier of the mind. It destroys sin. That's what Swami Shivananda is saying. Okay, so Lord Krishna says, if you do this, you will not necessarily get the vision of the Lord. He says this is by itself, this is not the way to get the vision of the Lord. Okay, this is the verse number 48. And next week we are going to see further. Now, next week, yeah, I'm traveling again. I have a flight. So I think next week again, it will be on Tuesday, same time on Tuesday. I will let you know, but this is what it is. Okay, so good to see you all. I'm already missing you, and I will see you next week. I will send you now a beautiful photo that I shot this morning here in Norway, and we'll be in touch. Okay. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Satguru Maharaj ki Jai. Hari Om.